The darker the pink means the stronger the presence of blood. It's a common test for technicians at this forensic lab in Manhattan. Here they examine blood, semen, saliva, and body cells from nearly 10,000 cases a year. They identify who it belongs to through DNA testing. But DNA is only useful if there is a known person to match it with.
The problem-solving mechanism is DNA evidence.
Now, in a first-of-its-kind move, New York plans to expand the pool of people it collects DNA from.
What we are going to do is to expand the DNA database to include anyone convicted of a penal felony, anyone convicted of a penal misdemeanor.
So, in other words, anyone convicted of any crime, no matter how small, would submit their DNA sample for a statewide DNA databank, making New York the first state with an all-crimes databank.
People that commit very violent crimes previously have committed relatively minor infractions. Having their DNA is essentially just like getting arrested and giving a fingerprint.
People like Raymond McGill. He brutally murdered 2 people and raped an elderly woman before police caught up with him in 2005. McGill shot and killed 68-year-old George Young in 2004 and stabbed Martha Maltavo back in 2000. But it wasn't until years later, when McGill was convicted of attempted robbery, that police matched his DNA to the other crimes that may have gone unsolved.
I think we would have solved many more cases than...
Retired NYPD cold case detective Joseph Pollini says requiring all criminals to submit DNA would be a huge help.
We probably have in excess of 8,000 open homicide cases since 1985. So in many of those cases, DNA analysis could be significant.
But of course, collecting such personal information such as DNA draws controversy, especially collecting it for minor offenses like a curfew violation or even spitting on a sidewalk. Privacy advocates worry how all that sensitive information will be handled.
We're beginning to see in some of the research literature and in studies here in New York State a surprisingly frequent incidence of error, human error, negligence, fraud, intentional wrongdoing, and abuse.
The district attorneys in all 5 boroughs in New York support the bill. They say not only would it help identify criminals, but it may also help exonerate people who have been wrongly convicted. In New York, Bonnie GHOSH, The Associated Press.